Hi, welcome once again to M5's English language learning program, Let's Speak English. I'm Gav Duncan and I'm here on your TV to help you learn English. Now, are you sitting comfortably? Yes, good. And are you ready for today's lesson? Yes, good. Okay, well let's learn English together. Wednesday, people. Yes, that's right, it's Wednesday. Okay, and that means what? Well, that means various things, doesn't it? For one thing, that means that today I'm 48 years and, what is it? Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. So I'm 48 years and 6 days old today. Okay, but what else does it mean? It must mean something more important than that, surely. Well, it means that we're approaching the finish line, doesn't it? Yes, this is lesson 573, and the mega revision is going to finish with lesson 575. And that's pretty amazing, isn't it? Yes, not only is it very impressive that we're going to finish the mega revision, the fourth so far, with lesson 575, but also that we're now here, in the middle, well, slightly before the middle of lesson 573. Congratulations to all of you. So yes, the finish line grows ever closer. We're really in the final straight now. And because we're in the final straight, we know that there are no more corners, no more tricky bends to maneuver our way around. There's nothing like this to deal with. So, no tricky bends, no hairpin bends, no dangerous curves which mean that we have to watch our speed. No, this is the final straight. This is where we summon up all of our energy to try and get to the finish line as fast as possible. All right, so deep breath. And then we can get stuck into this. The third last lesson of the mega revision, the third day of the 5th week, the third day of the 25 days we planned for you. The 23rd lesson of the 25, which make up the Mega Revision Part 4. Let's do this. Come in. Oh, you're already in, of course. Silly of me. Kick off your shoes. What's that smell? Can you lot smell it too? Yes, there's a funny smell here, isn't it? I think it's coming from the fridge. After the lesson, it might be a good idea to have a look in the fridge to see if you can discover the source of the smell. It smells as though something's gone off. All right, enough about the personal hygiene problems of the fridge. Check the best before date on everything in the fridge later. Right now, it's Wednesday. You know that, I know that, and someone else knows that too. Yes, Mrs. Enid Fotherington Smythe. Well, that's her title to the general world. We, on the other hand, know her as Enid. Enid, are you there? Well, what are you waiting for? Come on down, come on in, come and liven up our lives.
What-o, Gav, what-o? Hello, and good afternoon.
Hi, Enid, you're looking well.
Oh, thank you, Gav, thank you very much.
And do you just look well, or are you feeling well too?
Oh no, it's the whole package. This holistic approach to life is definitely the way forward. It's made a new woman out of me, if you know what I mean.
Well, yes, certainly you've been a changed woman. Well, that is a changed eel. Well, a changed lady eel since you came back from that yoga retreat on top of that mountain in Tibet. Well done you.
Thank you. Yes, that was a defining moment in my life. There was a need for change. That much was obvious.
Yes, I know, but we can talk about that later. What about the other news? What about what's been going on?
Oh, you mean with Rupert? That's what you're referring to, isn't it?
Yes. What happened? The last time we met, Rupert was on the verge of discovering the bugs that you'd hidden in his flat. What happened then?
Oh, well, that was a bit embarrassing. He found them. All of them.
How many were there?
Well, 23.
23? Good God, his flat's not that big, is it? 23? Jesus, that's probably more than MI5 and MI6 use in a month.
Yes, quite possibly, but you know how it is.
How what is?
Well, when Clem gets a good idea, she's so excitable and also so enthusiastic that, well, A lot of the time she creates such a whirlwind that anyone standing nearby gets swept along on her tidal wave of enthusiasm. And that's what happened this time too.
So it's Clementina's fault then?
Oh, no, I wouldn't say that at all. The blame lies with me. I should have known that Clem's ideas are normally, well, a bit bizarre, if you know what I mean.
Well, yes, bizarre is one word you could use. I just think that this idea was overcomplicated. Like I said, I think you could have achieved better results by asking Rupert a few questions and gauging his answers. I didn't think there was any need to bug his flat.
No, and with the benefit of hindsight, I can see that you were right.
Okay, but that's all water under the bridge. Tell me what happened.
Well, it all got a bit complicated. We heard Rupert when he found the first bug, and that was all we heard. Well, that's not exactly true. We could hear noises, but then all of a sudden the place was filled with noise. There was a hoover, a kettle, the radio was on, the television was on, the shower was running. It was as though there was an army of people in Rupert's flat.
I see. And did these noises all start at the same time, or did they start one after the other?
Well, yes, it was a sequence. First there was one noise, and then another joined it, and then another, and another, until there was just a wall of sound. And that's when we knew for certain.
Knew what for certain?
Well, that we'd been rumbled, that we were busted. We knew that the game was up.
So?
Yes, those noises told us that Rupert had figured out what was going on. He was creating lots and lots of background noise to confuse us.
Blimey. That's a bit, well, cloak and dagger, isn't it? Or does he just watch lots of spy dramas?
Well, as it turns out, it's a bit of both, really.
How do you mean?
Well, it turns out that Rupert used to have a job. When I met him, he didn't have a job. I mean, he had lots of money, but he didn't have a job.
So, where did the money come from then? If he didn't have a job, where did he get his money?
Well, I didn't ask him. That's not very polite, is it?
Well, no, but then didn't he tell you? I mean, you've been friends for years. Surely he must have told you. It must have cropped up in conversation, surely.
Well, he did hint at a couple of things. He always implied that he's made some very wise investments. But that idea never seemed believable somehow.
Why not?
Well, mainly because Rupert never understood anything about finance. He was always lost when anyone started to talk about money and investments. His eyes always glazed over, and you could see that he was on the verge of falling asleep. So there was always the feeling that there was something fishy going on.
But wasn't this just Rupert being clever, hiding his knowledge, creating the impression that he wasn't a financial genius?
But why would he do that? What reason would there be?
Oh, I don't know. He might want to avoid awkward questions for one thing.
Awkward questions? What sort of awkward questions?
Well, come on. Think about it, Enid. If you tell anyone that your friend Rupert made all these great investments, so many great investments that he was able to retire at a very young age, what do you think people are going to do?
Oh, so you think that they'd bother him for advice?
Yes, they'd be all over him all the time. They'd be like ants at a picnic. He'd never get a moment's rest. They'd harass him for advice all the time, 24/7.
Yes, they would, but
what?
Well, it's just that I haven't finished telling you what happened.
You're right. And why are you being so serious?
Well, it was a bit scary, and I'm not sure if I'm allowed to tell you.
Blimey. Now you've gone all cloak and dagger.
Yes, touche. Good point.
Enid, what are you on about? Do tell.
Well, it turns out that Rupert is actually as thick as two short planks when it comes to finance. That was just a cover story.
A cover story?
Yes, but before I can say anything else, can you turn a tap on, please?
Turn a tap on? What, do you need some water?
No. Oh, and I tell you what, turn the hoover on, and run a bath, and... have you got a kettle? And you'd better switch the radio on too.
Enid, what are you on about? What is all this?
Well, okay, if I must, but you have to promise that you won't tell anyone else, all right?
All right.
No, you have to promise.
All right. Keep calm. I promise.
Well, as I said, Rupert's not the financial genius he tells people that he is. He made his money working in different countries, working for the government in various countries.
Enid, you're being very mysterious. What do you mean? Did you just wink at me?
Yes, don't you get it?
No. Why did you wink at me?
Because I'm trying to communicate with you.
Yes, I get that. We're having a conversation. That's what we're doing. We're communicating. I'm communicating you, and you, well, you were communicating with me until a couple of minutes ago, but now you've gone all strange.
I have not, I'll have you know, gone all strange. I was trying to make you read between the lines.
Oh, now it's all about hidden meanings.
Yes, as I said. Oh, good Godfrey, do I have to spell it out?
Well, that might be the best idea. I have no idea where you're going with this.
He's not a financial advisor. He never was a financial advisor. He doesn't know the difference between a banker's draft, a checkbook, and a pencil sharpener. He used to work for the government, abroad, in lots of different countries, pretending to be a diplomat.
Pretending to be a diplomat? So you're telling me that he wasn't a diplomat, he just pretended to be a diplomat, the same way as he pretended to be a financial wizard. What is he really, a pathological liar?
No, something else. He's retired now, but he used to travel the world, doing jobs for the state, pretending to be a diplomat. That was his cover.
Oh, I get it. He was a spy.
Finally, the penny's finally dropped. Hallelujah!
Well, you could have just told me all this secret squirrel stuff. Blimey.
Well, I'm not sure if I'm allowed to tell you what I just told you.
Well, it's a bit late for that now. What are you going to do? Put a bag on my head and interrogate me?
Well, no, of course not. I only hope that nobody puts a bag on my head and interrogates me.
So, anyway, you still haven't explained. How did you find out?
Well, Rupert told me. He knew that we were behind the whole thing. He figured it out. I mean, that's what he was trained to do, after all.
And then what happened?
Well, it's a good job that he figured out that it was us. Otherwise, things could have been a bit sticky.
Yes, you'd have been in a right pickle.
Well, quite. As it was, Rupert had to call his friends, the people he used to work with, and tell them that everything was okay, that he could handle the situation.
But how did they even know?
Well, apparently, when you leave a job like that, they never really let you go. They always keep an eye on you.
Blimey.
Yes, blimey. Blimey is right.
And has everything been smoothed over? What did Rupert say?
Oh, he was very nice about the whole thing, but I still haven't explained why I did what I did.
What? Because you listened to Clem instead of telling her to go and boil her head?
No, Rupert knows that I planted the bugs, but I'm meeting him in the PP for a drink, and I'm going to come clean and tell him all.
When are you meeting him?
Oh, pasta tubes! I'm going to be late. I must dash. I'll tell you all about it next week. Oh, Crivens! I'm going to be late. Toodaloo, pip pip, and all that. Gee, bye!
Well, blimey, the plot thickens, doesn't it? Rupert, a faux diplomat, a Morse tapper, a code sender. Blimey! And there was Enid planting bugs in the home of a spy. Wow, this changes things a bit, doesn't it? Yes, it does. But we're going to have to wait a bit before we get some more information. We'll have to see what happens when Enid has her drink with Rupert. I wonder if it's still a good idea to go for a game of squash with him. And that's all that we've got time for you today. Yes, that time has come once more. Once more, the sands of time have fallen into the bottom half of the hourglass. And that means that very soon we're going to have to part for the day. But don't worry, we're like sellotape. You can't get rid of us that easily. We'll be back tomorrow. Same time, same place, but a different day, obviously. Alrighty, well, it's coffee time as far as I'm concerned, so I'm heading out of the door. And from there, it's onto a tram, then off the tram and a walk across the bridge. After that, when I get home, I feel that I'll deserve my coffee. And what about you lot? Well, let's think. Dishwasher? Is it full? Are the dishes inside dirty? Yes? Well, in that case, put a tablet into the drawer and start the machine. If the machine is full, but the dishes are clean, then what are you waiting for? Empty the damn thing, sharpish. And if there's nothing for you to do, no chores or homework waiting for your attention, then take the dog out. Teach the anteater how to ride a skateboard. Show the parrot some magic tricks. Do what you have to do, people, and then do what you enjoy doing. I'll see you all tomorrow. See you later. www.mediaclick.hu. Bye!